Jai Krishna Radha Krishna Jai Jagannath Baladev Prabhupada Jai Srila Prabhupada Ki Gaur Bhaktavinda Ki Krishna. So this is Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 6, text 24. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So this chapter is called Dhyana Yoga. And in this chapter, Krishna speaks about the process of Ashtanga Yoga, which is very hard to practice. But nonetheless, he wants to share it with Arjuna. And at some point, Arjuna says, "Thank you for sharing, but this is really too hard. I'm glad you told me. Now I know what I don't want to do." But in this verse 24, which is part of Krishna's explanation of how to do this yoga, Krishna explains two things we need to bring to the practice of yoga, which is very much applicable to all of us in our path, on our path, and in our journey to Krishna, in our bhakti yoga. And Srila Prabhupada has explained some additional characteristics of bhakti yoga in his purport. So though this appears as part of Krishna's explanation on Ashtanga, just as Prabhupada does, he looks at everything through the lens of bhakti. And so we can very much apply this verse in our pursuance of Krishna in loving devotional service. So I'll read the Sanskrit and then the verse, and then I'm going to read the purport slowly. I'm going to read it in little chunks and then share a few things with you. So this is Krishna speaking. Sa niścayena yoktavyo yoga nirviṇṇa-cetasā saṅkalpa-prabhavān kāmāṁs tyaktvā sarvān aśeṣataḥ manasaivendriya-grāmaṁ viniyamya samatana. So Krishna says, one should engage oneself in the practice of yoga with determination and faith. So those are the two words we're going to focus on. With determination and faith. And not be deviated from the path. One should abandon, without exception, all material desires born of mental speculation, and thus control all the senses on all sides of the mind. Should we all repeat that?
Sorry.
24, chapter 6, 24. If you want to follow along, that's good. Please repeat after me. One should engage oneself in the practice of yoga with determination and faith, and not be deviated from the path. One should abandon, without exception, all material desires born of mental speculation, and thus control all the senses on all sides by the mind. Srila Prabhupada's purport. The yoga practitioner should be determined and should patiently prosecute the practice without deviation. One should be sure of success at the end and pursue this course with great perseverance, not becoming discouraged if there is any delay in the attainment of success. Success is sure for the rigid practitioner. We'll read more of it in a moment. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Padamayam Dadati Swaha Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Parakamadam Sri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvetam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamshta He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabando Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kansana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Shabhanu Sute Devi Namami Hari Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Dhyaivacha Tanam Bhavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Shadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So one should engage oneself in the practice of yoga with determination and faith, and not be deviated from the path. One should abandon, without exception, all material desires born of mental speculation, and thus control all the senses on all sides by the mind. So we're going to focus on faith and determination. But before I go on with the purport, and Srila Prabhupada quotes Rupa Goswami, who will share some very essential principles for success, especially in Bhakti Yoga. But in this first few lines, Prabhupada, it's interesting his use of words. If anybody's following the purport, you can pick out all the words that begin with P. So you could read the first lines like this. The practitioner patiently prosecutes practice and pursues perseverance in his practice. And each one of those words is so, we could go deeper into each one of those words. So who's the practitioner? I'm a practitioner, you're a practitioner. We're practicing. Practitioners practice. Practitioners may not be perfect. But of course, Krishna in chapter 3 says, even if the practitioner is perfect, the practitioner practices to set an example for other practitioners. And he quotes the example of King Jana. He didn't need to do anything, but still he did something. He performed his duty to set an example for other practitioners who are new in their practice. So the practitioner, I missed a word, patiently practices. And we'll explore this word patience in a moment. Perseverance, what does that mean? Perseverance.
Keep going. Consistent.
Keep going. Consistent. What a lovely word. You keep going. there are always going to be forces of resistance. Anybody experience those? I take that as a yes. There are going to be forces of resistance. And this is where perseverance comes in. And as Krishna says in the verse, faith and determination. And then Prabhupada talks about the success. The practitioner patiently practices with perseverance and pursues this path to the point of success. Srila Prabhupada goes on, regarding bhakti yoga, this is for us. Rupa Goswami says, very famous verse, Utsahan niścayadhārya tat karma pravartana sangotyago sato vrate sadbir bhakti prasidyati. In the translation, one can execute the process of bhakti yoga successfully with full-hearted enthusiasm, perseverance, and determination by following the prescribed duties in the association of devotees and by engaging completely in activities of goodness. Now there are three principles here: enthusiasm, perseverance or patience, and determination, confidence. To keep going, perseverance, confidence, patience, they're all connected. And this verse was spoken 500 years ago by Rupa Goswami, who is one of the principal disciples and associates of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Mahaprabhu sent him and others, Sanatana Goswami, Gopal Bhatta Goswami, whose birth appearance we were celebrating yesterday, sent them to Vrindavan, excavate the land, find out the different places where Krishna performed his pastimes. First duty. Second duty, write books. Write about the practice of bhakti, researching all the Vedic texts, and share the essence so people know how to practice. And this book here, Upadeshamrita, is translated by Srila Prabhupada, and it's called Nectar of Instruction. And it's a very small book, 11 verses. But this verse is the third verse, and it gives the principles of how to perform bhakti. But are these principles any different from achieving anything else in life? Enthusiasm, patience, and determination. Can we do anything without these three things? Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport for that verse, you can't do anything without enthusiasm, without patience, and without this determination. Srila Prabhupada defines enthusiasm in that book: endeavor executed with intelligence in Krishna consciousness. Endeavor executed with intelligence in Krishna consciousness. So when we're going to do something, we might just do it and then think about what we did and think, oh, why did I do that? I wasn't very intelligent about that. Or we might want to do something and think, okay, let me really think about this first. How am I going to do this? What's the best way to do this? Can I give my energy to this? Can I put my faith in something? Am I really aligned to what I want to achieve? So enthusiasm in Krishna consciousness is when we think, first we apply our intelligence. And the best way to apply our intelligence is to hear from Krishna. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna in chapter 18 says, he who reads this book worships me with their intelligence. So when you worship Krishna with your intelligence, you naturally become enthusiastic. Naturally become, I really want this. I really want to go after Krishna. I really want to practice devotional service. I see the value in it. I understand myself to be different to this physical, material existence. I'm eternal by nature. I'm spiritual. I have an eternal relationship with God. I want to experience this love. Become enthusiastic about it. See, enthusiasm is placing our faith into Krishna consciousness. But what do we mean by faith? We use this word faith, but what does it mean? What might we say? What does faith mean for you? A belief? Okay.
Trust.
Trust. Trust is a big word. Belief can change. But when you trust something, that's quite a deeper connection. When you walk into this room, you trust the floor is not going to give way. Did anybody come in here and ask for a structural survey on the floor? Did anybody tap the floor a few times and make sure it's not going to give way? Nobody did that. But what creates that trust? You've done it before? Okay, first time I come, I tested it. Last night it was good. Right now it's going to be good. I can also see trusted people in the room. They seem to be comfortable with the floor. And if I can trust them and they trust the floor, then I can trust the floor. So trust is an important element. I can trust. I can put trust in this. Any other definitions? Any other ways of
Knowledge.
Sorry, let's have a show of hands so I can.
Love.
Love. Yes. Faith and love go very well together. In fact, Krishna consciousness begins with faith and ends in love. The more you cultivate your faith, the more the love for Krishna unfolds itself. So faith is the seed that unfolds our love for Krishna. And we never lose that faith. We deepen it to the point of experiencing pure love for him. Any other? There was some other?
Knowledge.
Knowledge. So the more knowledge I have, the more I can test that knowledge. The more I test that knowledge, oh yeah, this really works. This begins to make sense. So let me go with this knowledge. In chapter 17, Arjuna asks Krishna about faith. You know, people may come with all sorts of different faith. How do I understand this? They may worship in different ways. How do I understand their faith? And then Krishna describes that faith is based on three natures: the nature of goodness, the nature of passion, and the nature of ignorance. And faith is of those three types. And Srila Prabhupada writes a beautiful explanation in the purport to those early verses in chapter 17. And of course, the word for faith in Sanskrit is Shraddha. Shraddha. Right at the heart of this word, heart being the operative word, right at the middle of this word, I should say, is the word rid, which means heart. So Srila Prabhupada writes, the definition of faith means, where do I give my heart? We have to be careful where we give our heart, because there are so many distractions in the world. We could place our heart in some kind of distraction, and it becomes difficult to bring it back again. So faith means, where do I give my heart? Do I give my heart in the mode of ignorance? Do I give my heart in the mode of passion? Do I give my heart in the mode of goodness? Or do I reserve it and not give it anywhere and I give it in pure goodness to Krishna. So where we decide to give our heart, that's the kind of result we can experience. But once I've given my heart, that creates this energy and this focus and drive called enthusiasm. I'm giving my heart to Krishna. This is how I'm giving my heart. This is what I'm going to do. This is the process I'm going to follow. This is my practice. This is what I pursue. So enthusiasm, I'm reading about Krishna, I'm hearing about him. Am I ready now to give my heart a little to him? That raises the experience of enthusiasm. Next is patience, perseverance. Patience allows us to respect the unfolding of time. Time plays a very important role in our life. If we're not conscious of time, then it will just destroy everything. That's what it's meant to do. Yesterday is destroyed. It's finished. It's not coming back. But what I learned from yesterday, I carry with me. Or time can be a companion. And when we are very conscious of that time, as the day passes, I'm patient. I'm going to go through the day. I'm thinking of Krishna. As my life passes, I'm patiently prosecuting, persevering, pursuing this Krishna consciousness. It's not that it has to happen today or it will happen today. It can happen anytime. But am I going to be patient, patiently watching this seed grow while I water it? So patience is respecting that everything's going to happen at the right time and when Krishna wants it to happen. As long as I'm doing the watering, and I'm enthusiastic. And then there is determination. Enthusiasm is like the engine that's going to drive. Determination is the quality of the fuel we serve the engine with. And even the determination has three different qualities. Determination can be unbroken, unshakable. It doesn't matter. Whatever the world throws me, I'm going after Krishna. Because I've given my heart to this. My engine is driving me in that direction, my enthusiasm. And I'm endeavoring with intelligence. Or determination can be wavering. You know, they said I can experience Krishna. I went to their program. It was lovely. They were singing. There was lovely people there. Now that I'm come home after a lovely meal, I don't experience Krishna anymore. I think I'll give up. So I don't have patience, and I wanted an immediate experience, an immediate fruit to my endeavor. It didn't happen. Yeah, I'll try something else next week. So I give up. I don't allow patience to manifest the growth of this seed into something wonderful. But then there's determination in ignorance, which doesn't even start the engine. Doesn't really kind of get going, and you kind of dream. Wouldn't it be great to be spiritual? Everybody loves each other. The world gets on with one another. No, there's no fighting. There's just amazing. That's my dream. What are you going to do about that? Oh, just carry on dreaming. That's not fuel. It doesn't really even kind of make it into the engine to keep it going. And Srila Prabhupada continues, we'll continue reading here. And he tells a beautiful story about determination. Let's listen to the story. As for determination, one should follow the example of the sparrow. who lost her eggs in the waves of the ocean. A sparrow is a tiny little bird. A sparrow laid her eggs on the shore of the ocean, but the big ocean carried away the eggs on its waves. The sparrow became very upset and asked the ocean to return her eggs. The ocean did not even consider her appeal. The ocean's big guy. And why should it even pay attention to this little? I see so many sparrows. The ocean said, so many sparrows come along, Who are you? What's special about this little sparrow? And I eat their eggs every day. I mean, who are you to kind of get upset about this? The ocean did not even consider her appeal. So the sparrow decided to dry up the ocean. She began to pick out the water in her small beak, and everyone laughed at her for her impossible determination. I mean, we're all laughing at the sparrow, aren't we? I won't tell the sparrow that you're laughing at the sparrow, okay? Everybody's laughing at the sparrow. Here it says impossible determination. The news of her activity spread. Now this is the important. The news of her activity spread. And at last, Garuda, the gigantic bird carrier of Lord Vishnu, heard it. Now, he's big. He's an eagle. He's not a little sparrow. He carries Lord Vishnu. And he's pretty scary. He heard about this. He became compassionate toward his smaller sister bird. And so he came to see the sparrow. Garuda was very pleased by the determination of the small sparrow, and he promised to help him. Thus Garuda at once asked the ocean to return her eggs, lest he himself take up the work of the sparrow. What was the work of the sparrow? Empty out the ocean. Tiny little beak, a drop at a time. The ocean, keep going. But when Garuda comes and says to the ocean, give the eggs back, otherwise I'm going to dry you up, the ocean's going to take us seriously, take Garuda seriously. The ocean was frightened at this and returned the eggs. Thus the sparrow became happy by the grace of Garuda. Now, we might appear to be the sparrow in the ocean of material energy. Goodness, passion, ignorance, distraction, sense objects, so many things going on that attract our attention. We might feel like a sparrow, and the material energy takes away our most prized and precious gift. Our most important asset is taken away by material energy. Do you know what that is? What's our most important asset? Maybe time. Maybe time. Energy. Intelligence. Attention. Love. Potentially. Heart. All of these are good answers. But all of these belong to one particular asset.
Conscious.
Very good. Our consciousness. If we give our consciousness away, then our attention is gone, our time is gone, our love is gone, everything. So wherever we give our consciousness is whatever we cultivate. That's what we'll end up cultivating. If we give our consciousness, our full awareness to material energy, then that's what we'll cultivate. But if we're like the sparrow being tiny, before the great material energy, and give my consciousness back to me. I want my consciousness back. Nobody told me I shouldn't give it to you. But now that I've given it, I want it back because I want to give it to Krishna. So as we draw our consciousness back from material energy will say, try your best. Nah. You thought, I'm not going to give it back to you. But we want it back. It's my consciousness. It's my gift. That's the symptom of who I am. I want it back. I want to now cultivate spiritual energy, spiritual connection. I want to give it to Krishna. I want to cultivate Krishna consciousness. I realize I should give it to Krishna because I'm reposing my heart and my faith in him. So it's not easy. But by doing it, by having a determined, becoming a practitioner who's determined, perseverance, pursuing this, whose attention will it attract? Well, immediately it'll attract the attention of each other, right? If you see a devotee next to you, Hare Krishna, and you see, wow, every week there's this determined effort, they're drawing their consciousness back to Krishna, they're focused in their japa, they're focused in the kirtan, they're really studying, they're really drawing their consciousness back, they become attractive to us. And we kind of say, I think I'm going to help this person. I'm going to reach out to them, see what I can do to serve them. So we attract the attention of each other, and therefore we serve one another. Let me serve this devotee who's, just trying their best to, in a very determined way. We attract the attention of Krishna. In chapter 10, Krishna shows how he reciprocates with this determination. He says, I give the intelligence by which one can come to me. And if one is coming to me, and even if there is still that consciousness in ignorance, what does Krishna say? Desham evanu kampartham. Artham means value. This is a beautiful word Krishna uses, which means compassion. Not just ordinary compassion, special compassion that he reserves for someone who is determined to come to him. Desham evanukam partham. It's so special, I reserve it for the devotee who has remnants of ignorance left. I remove that ignorance because I'm sitting in the heart of this devotee. I remove that ignorance by lighting up the heart with the shining lamp of knowledge. So we attract the attention of Krishna in such a way that he switches on that lamp of knowledge within. Why? Because he sees our determination. We've given our faith and he sees our determination. And there are so many wonderful examples of determination. Here the sparrow is determined. Everybody knows the story of Mother Yashoda tying Krishna. Yeah. Could she tie him? How can you tie the Supreme Lord? She's trying to tie him, and it's always too short. 2 fingers too short. She gets more rope. She's keep tying him and tying him and tying him. And Krishna looks up at her and says, you really want to tie me? Okay. Prabhupada writes that to tie up Krishna needs 2 feet of rope. But Mother Yashoda used at least 200 feet of rope. And then Krishna just looks at her and says, I think you've done enough. Tie me. And there the word again, kripaya, compassion. Kripaya, mercy. He sees the endeavor. He sees the determination. She's still not tying him. But what's missing? Kripaya, tie me. I give you my blessing. There is another beautiful story of a man who was met by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went traveling in South India, and he went to this temple, and he saw sitting outside the temple a man holding the Bhagavad Gita upside down, turning the pages and crying. So Mahaprabhu sat next to him. I said, "What are you doing?" And other people were laughing. Look at this. This man is illiterate. He cannot read. So Mahaprabhu sat next to him and said, "What are you doing?" He said, "My guru, my spiritual master, he said I should read Bhagavad Gita every single day. But I don't know how to read. But I'm just trying to follow his words. So I just hold the book and I sit here and I don't know what I'm doing. I just turn the pages because he told me to." Mahaprabhu asked, "But yes, but as you sit here following the order of your teacher, you're crying." He says, "I'm just crying these tears of great love and joy because as I hold the Bhagavad Gita, all I can think of is how loving Krishna is, this Bhakta Vatsal, that just for his devotee Arjuna, he takes the humble role of driving the chariot. And as I think about this darshan, this impression, this image, I'm just overwhelmed with ecstasy." And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "You are the real scholar of Bhagavad Gita." Just that I can't do this, but my guru said, "Do this." I'll do it with enthusiasm. I'll give my heart to it. I'm determined to do it. I get a result. Mahaprabhu calls me the best scholar. Not that I was hoping to be called that, but I get recognition. When we try for Krishna, we get recognition. He recognizes. One of my favorite examples in the Ramayana is of the bird, another bird story, Jatayu. And he is everything about trying and being recognized. Was he victorious? Was he successful? So Ravana was kidnapping Mother Sita and just taking her away after cheating, appearing to be a sadhu and then revealing his real form as a demon, snatching her and climbing onto the chariot and racing away. And when Jatayu, who's an old bird, heard the cries of Mother Sita, "Ram, Ram, please save me." Jatayu said, "Wait a minute, Ram's not there. Can't see him. That's Ravana, and this is Mother Sita. I'm going to have to stop this." Now, he's an old bird. There was a feeling that there's no way I can stop Ravana, but I'm determined to delay his departure. If I can just delay his departure, maybe Ram will arrive on time. So he was determined to battle with this 10-headed monster who had such energy, such all the weapons, it was just obnoxiously kind of powerful. Jatayu was battling, and then his wings get broke and he falls. And then Ravana runs off. He goes, laughing, "I have Sita, I have Sita." But when Lord Ram and Lakshman come searching for Sita and they see this bird, the bird says, "I'm sorry I did not save Mother Sita. I tried my best just to delay the departure of Ravana." So he felt I was unsuccessful. But Ram felt, in your devotion, in your determination, you were successful. So Lord Ram reciprocated with Jatayu by saying, "You are like my father. And now as you take your last breath, I, as your son, will perform your final rites ceremony." So for the determination of Jatayu, Lord Ramachandra became his son, just to complete the final rites of his life in this world, and gave him ultimate salvation in his shelter. So these are beautiful examples, and we too are examples of determination, and Krishna reciprocating with each and every one of us very individually, very personally. So faith means giving our heart. Where we give our heart, we want to give our heart to Krishna. Determination means the endeavor that doesn't matter what's in front of me, whatever obstacles stand before me, however big they are, if I continue to push on, perseverance, pursue, patience, I have trust that Krishna will pick me up. And to finish the purport, Prabhupada writes, similarly, the practice of yoga, especially bhakti yoga, in Krishna consciousness, may appear to be a very difficult job. Is it difficult?
Appears to be.
It may appear to be. Prabhupada says it may appear to be a very difficult job. That's because we think that the obstacle is bigger than Krishna.
Yeah.
But if we really understand how big Krishna is, and that is within us, in our heart, and that is everything emanates from him, all strength, all beauty, all power, all knowledge, then we may get a different perspective. And Prabhupada concludes by saying, but if anyone follows the principles with great determination, the Lord will surely help. And here's the line of the day. For God helps those who help themselves. Everyone, let's repeat that line. For God helps those who help themselves. So, if we're helping ourselves with faith, if we're helping ourselves with determination, driven by enthusiasm for Krishna, that will attract Krishna's attention. If we're doing something for it, for Krishna, we attract Krishna's attention. But we have to help ourselves. We can't just say, oh, this is a good idea. Maybe I'll try this one day. And if the obstacles are standing before us, and if we say, Krishna, you are bigger than this, please reveal to me how I can overcome this. What should I do next? Please give me the right association. Give me the right help. And Krishna preserves what we have and carries what we lack. So this is the essence of this verse today. Faith, where I give my heart, and determination. I help myself, and I'm confident that God will help me. Hare Krishna. Thank you all so much. Any reflections, questions?
Sometimes one may consider oneself to be unworthy of asking Krishna for something, like asking for himself. Sometimes it might be difficult even to ask for that.
We have to be, yes, we may naturally feel unworthy. We may even use other words to describe ourselves. But Krishna says, even if you're the greatest of sinners, you can get onto this boat of knowledge. So Krishna doesn't, he drops doesn't matter who you are, get on, jump on. Because this knowledge will take care of everything. And if you begin to live this knowledge, if you begin to apply this knowledge, everything, Krishna will take care of everything. One time a devotee asked a similar question to Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada, it is said that one who has performed auspicious activities comes into Krishna consciousness, but we haven't performed any auspicious activities. So how is it that we are worthy of this Krishna consciousness? And Srila Prabhupada said, I am your auspicious activities. So to be in the Sangha of Srila Prabhupada, through his teachings, through his community of devotees, that uplifts our adhikar of auspiciousness, and therefore we become worthy of Krishna's attention. It's like Krishna chose Arjuna to receive Bhagavad Gita, right? And today, here we are in this gathering here in Oslo, we are hearing Bhagavad Gita. And the population of Oslo is 700,000. So we have to accept that being in this Sangha is Krishna's grace. Whether I'm worthy or not, this is Krishna's grace on me. I'm sitting here in a Sangha receiving Bhagavad Gita, hearing Bhagavad Gita. Krishna allows this to happen in my life. So if we feel so unworthy that we don't come forward in Krishna consciousness, that's also dangerous, because we forget to be grateful for what we have been given in Krishna consciousness, and just cultivating that mood of, you see, unworthiness is different to humility. Unworthiness keeps us away. Humility brings us forward. You know, Arjuna was humble. Krishna, I'm confused. I'm weak. I don't know what I should do. You please tell me. Unworthiness can also keep us away from being honest. Krishna, I need help. Yes, but I need help. I'm coming to you. I'm coming to your devotees. Please help me. So if we cultivate humility and honesty to come before Krishna, then there's reciprocation. But we don't want to cultivate such negative thoughts about ourselves that keeps us distant from Krishna. We want to cultivate thoughts that allows us to come closer to Krishna, even though we feel, well, I'm not ready yet. Okay, let me just give it a go. Is that okay? Thank you.
This determination is most important. It drives us to being spirituality. But in the very first place, how to be so determined? If I was a sparrow, I wouldn't have got that thought of taking the drop of water from ocean. So in the very first place, how to be so determined? So what kind of consciousness will give us such a strong determination? Maybe I have a little, but not so strong in probably. So how to get that strong determination?
First of all, we have to work on the engine. So determination is the fuel, the engine is the enthusiasm. How do I build that enthusiasm? Enthusiasm is built by cultivating faith. How do you cultivate faith? You hear from Krishna, from Bhagavad Gita. We associate with devotees. We practice. We try this out. And that gradually fuels, it begins to start the engine of this is beautiful, makes sense, I feel good with this, let me keep going. So if we're not hearing about Krishna, then the engine of enthusiasm won't really get started. And then once it gets started and you move, then that will create the right determination to keep going. I want this. The more I hear, the more I want to come closer to what I'm hearing. The more I want to practice what I'm hearing. So at least Bhagavad Gita, we should try to hear something from it every single day, because that awakens that enthusiasm for Krishna. We hear about Bhagavad Gita, the first 6 chapters we hear about ourselves. Krishna speaks about us. We're eternal, we're conditioned, we've developed all these hankerings and lamentations of being in this world. We've covered ourselves over with this conditioning. But by applying ourselves to the practice of yoga and reconnecting with Krishna, we can revive our original nature. Then, chapter 7 to chapter 12, Krishna speaks about himself. Just so that we become convinced. At the beginning of chapter 7, Krishna says, now hear from me how by practicing yoga in full consciousness of me, mind attached to me, you can know me, free from doubt. He's declared it, you can know me. Okay, well, let me give attention to this, let me hear. He says, just hear. So in chapter 7, we have a beautiful description of how we can experience Krishna through our senses every single day. Chapter 8, how do I meditate on Krishna during my life and at the end of life? Chapter 9, Krishna is inside everything and outside of everything. And Krishna says, just think of me and become my devotee. Chapter 10, Krishna describes everything that's outside of him. Chapter 11, Krishna describes everything that's inside of him. And then chapter 12, Krishna describes those qualities of a practitioner that are dear to him. So in chapter 12, he reveals his love for his devotee. And then chapter 13 to 18 is the process of actually cultivating in this life, in the here and now, this growing devotional practice through living in virtue, understanding Krishna in our heart, and so on. So by hearing something from Krishna every day, we become closer to him. It's like it is a relationship, but it's like any relationship, you know.
Oh, hey, Hare Krishna.
When we're cultivating a relationship, we invest time in that. You know, when we're new to romance, we speak to our partner every day. I have to phone my partner every single day. Why? Because I'm cultivating this romantic relationship. So in the same way, we should speak to Krishna every day. We should hear something from Krishna every day. Then gradually we fall in love with him. Krishna, what are you going to tell me today? What's today's adventure? What verse are you going to guide me with today? And if we enter into that kind of a personal relationship and invitation to Krishna, speak to me today, Krishna. What should I hear? What will help me? What should I think of? Krishna will give you something. And when you hear directly from Krishna, that fuels our determination. Is that okay? How are we for time? We are done. Well, we are done, everyone. Thank you all so much. Very pleasure to be here with you all. And please continue this very enthusiastic Sangha in gathering on a Sunday and support one another to bring more people and to grow what you're all doing here in Oslo. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Pradyumna Prabhu ki jai.